This is for you!
Oh, what are you doing? Sir, stop that right now, Bobby, you maniac! Get away!
The moment the billionaire flicked his wrist and told the old woman to clean up your own mess, the entire restaurant fell silent. But what he didn't know, what no one in that glittering room knew, was that the trembling old woman he humiliated wasn't just another poor stranger, she was the mother of the waitress who had just been promoted to manage his empire. And by the end of that night, the most powerful man in the city would be the one standing speech language. The chandeliers inside the Golden Crest restaurant shimmered like fallen stars. Crystal glasses clinked, cameras flashed, and the city's elite gathered to celebrate the newest real estate acquisition of billionaire Arman Halim. At only 35, Arman had built a property empire that stretched across continents. People admired his intelligence. They feared his temper. Near the back of the hall, weaving quietly between tables, was Sarah. Her uniform was neat but worn at the cuffs. She balanced a silver tray carefully, her soft eyes constantly scanning the room. Tonight was important. Arman's company had just purchased the restaurant, and rumors whispered that a new management team would soon be chosen. Sarah needed that promotion. Her mother's hospital bills were piling up. Outside, rain began to pour. The front doors slowly opened, letting in a gust of cold wind and a frail old woman drenched from head to toe. Her gray shawl clung to her shoulders. She looked around uncertainly, her sandals leaving faint wet marks on the polished marble floor. She wasn't supposed to be here. Some guests turned away in discomfort. Others whispered. The old woman approached the reception stand, her voice trembling. "I'm looking for my daughter, she works here." Before she could say another word, Arman noticed the disturbance. His jaw tightened. He hated imperfection. He hated embarrassment. "What is this?" he snapped loudly, walking toward her. "This is a private event." The old woman tried to explain. "Beta, I only came to see." "You people always come at the wrong time," Arman interrupted coldly. "Security." The room grew quieter. Sarah, across the hall, froze when she recognized that voice. Her heart stopped. That was her mother. She rushed forward, but before she could reach them, one of the waiters accidentally bumped into the old woman. A tray slipped. A glass shattered. Red juice splashed across Arman's expensive suit. The billionaire's face turned crimson. "Look what you've done," he shouted, pointing at the old woman as if she had committed a crime. "Can't you even stand properly? Do you know how much this suit costs?" The old woman bent down instantly, her trembling hands trying to wipe the stain with her soaked shawl. "I'm sorry. I'm so sorry." "Stop." Arman barked. "You're making it worse." He turned to the manager. "Throw her out. Now." That was the moment Sarah stepped between them. "Sir, please," she said softly, her voice shaking but steady with courage. "She's my mother." The entire room shifted. Arman blinked. "Your mother?" Sarah nodded. Her eyes were glossy but proud. "Yes. She came because I couldn't leave work to visit her at the hospital today. She didn't mean any harm." Murmurs spread like wildfire among the guests. Arman felt every eye on him. He hated losing control, especially in public. "Then perhaps," he said sharply, "you should teach her manners before bringing her into places she doesn't belong." Sarah swallowed her pride. Her mother looked at her with guilt and whispered, "I'll go, Beatty." But before they could move, the senior regional director of Arman's company entered the hall. He carried a file. "Sir," the director announced, slightly confused by the scene, "I was just about to introduce the candidate you approved for the new executive operations manager position." Arman straightened his jacket, irritated. "Fine. Let's not delay this evening any further." The director looked at Sarah. "Congratulations. After reviewing performance records, customer feedback, and leadership assessments, Sarah Ahmed has been selected. A wave of gasps rippled across the room. Armin turned slowly. What? The director continued, you personally signed the approval yesterday. She's the most qualified candidate. Sarah's mother looked at her in disbelief. The powerful billionaire had just humiliated the very woman whose daughter would now oversee operations for his newest investment. Armin forced a stiff smile. Applause began hesitantly. For the first time in years, he felt something unfamiliar. Embarrassment. Chapter 2. The rain had stopped, but the air inside the hall remained heavy. Sarah helped her mother sit at a quiet table while the announcement settled in everyone's minds. Guests who had ignored the old woman minutes ago now smiled awkwardly in her direction. Armin stood near the stage, his thoughts racing. He had built his empire on precision and control. He believed weakness had no place in business. Yet tonight, weakness had exposed something inside him. His father had once been a poor street vendor. Armin remembered how people had looked at them, with pity, sometimes with disgust. He had sworn never to be powerless again. But somewhere in becoming powerful, he had become cruel. He walked slowly toward Sarah and her mother. Every step felt heavier than the last. The room watched. I owe you an apology, he said finally, his voice lower than before. Sarah looked up, surprised. I reacted without understanding the situation, Armin continued. That was wrong. The word wrong seemed foreign on his tongue. The old woman studied his face carefully. She saw not a billionaire, but a man struggling with his pride. It's easy to forget kindness when you climb too high, she said gently. But the ground is where we all begin. Her words pierced deeper than any insult. Armin exhaled slowly. You're right. He turned to the crowd. Let this be clear. No one, no matter their clothes or status, will ever be disrespected in my establishments again. The applause this time was genuine. Sarah's eyes filled with tears, but they weren't from humiliation. They were from relief. From dignity restored. Later that night, Armin quietly arranged for the old woman's hospital treatment to be covered by the company's new employee welfare fund. Not as charity, but as responsibility. And when the event ended, he approached Sarah once more. You earned that promotion, he said sincerely. Not because of tonight. But because of years of hard work I failed to see. Sarah smiled. Sometimes people don't need money, sir. They just need respect. Armin nodded. As the lights dimmed and guests departed, he stood alone in the hall, staring at the reflection of the polished floor where the old woman had once knelt. He realized something powerful that night. Wealth can build towers. But character builds legacy. And sometimes, the person you think is insignificant, is the one sent to remind you who you used to be.